I have quite a few which is better questions to answer from Patreon, so I'm going to start with this one from Red Bandit, who wants me to compare Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Both of these are fairly divisive entries among the web-slinger's various cinematic adventures, for understandable reasons. Chief among them are the many plots and characters juggling for attention. To be honest, I actually quite like both films, and rewatching one of them, I came to find a better appreciation for it. Which do I find better? That would be Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 is often seen as the nadir of Sam Raimi's trilogy, but I thought he brought a lot of the same comic book spunk he showed in the two previous films. There are many plot threads in this sequel, but the main focus is on Peter Parker slowly growing an ego after years of being Spider-Man. I like how Raimi chose to explore how hero worship can affect even the hero himself, and how it seems to go to his head. We see this truly manifest in the symbiote taking him over, which plays on Peter's insecurities. The chief criticism of the film is how Peter turned into this dancing, overly confident oddball who struts down the street like he's in Saturday Night Fever. I thought it made sense that Peter, being a dork, is acting like how he thinks cool people act and failing miserably at it. We're supposed to think he's a goofball and not take him seriously. Meanwhile, Raimi directs the various action sequences with the right level of pizzazz, especially when Spidey swoops in to save Gwen Stacy from a collapsing skyscraper. Then we have the three villains. It was logical to have Harry Osborn in there to complete his arc, manifesting since the first film, although they could have concluded it better. His butler seriously chose now to tell him how his father died? The Sandman continues the trend of Spider-Man villains being transformed by a scientific experiment, and I liked his arc and how they tied it in to Uncle Ben's death. Then there's Venom, who I will admit kind of comes in at the last minute. There's about 30 minutes left when he shows up, which is not nearly enough time to develop him. I actually thought the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon did a better job of telling the symbiote Venom storyline. Also, Mary Jane gets kidnapped again, because of course she does. Even Kirsten Dunst was annoyed upon receiving those script pages. As for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, this is a movie that's definitely overstuffed with a lot going on. The movie wants to spend time focusing on Peter and Gwen Stacy's relationship, Electro coming into being, Harry Osborn's descent into becoming the next Green Goblin, Peter finding out about his father, setting up the Sinister Six, and it's just too much. Shailene Woodley even filmed scenes playing Mary Jane, and they cut them out because they thought there was a little too much plot. That's an understatement. With that said, I do like this movie. I thought Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone had better chemistry than they did in the first one, and they ironed Peter Parker's less likable traits in this sequel, as I found him too brooding in the previous film. Mark Webb did a great job directing the action scenes, especially Electro fighting Spider-Man in Times Square, where they managed to show Electro's powers through his Spidey sense. And while the Green Goblin coming in at the end felt tacked on, I was impressed with how the death of Gwen Stacy was adapted. Webb and cinematographer Dan Mandel shot some incredible imagery for that sequence, with the visual effects artist also bringing a lot to the table. Is Amazing Spider-Man 2 the best Spider-Man movie? No, I prefer the Sam Raimi trilogy and Spider-Man Homecoming, but I still found a good amount to appreciate here, especially since I did not like the first Amazing Spider-Man that much. But as always, I want to know which you think is better. Thank you for your question, Red Bandit.